I believe Blue Lock is an insult to soccer. I have a few videos explaining why, but none of them are as effective as the idea I'll implement here. I'll play a clip of the anime that I don't like, and then respond to it.
Japanese soccer requires just one thing, and that is the birth of a revolutionary striker. I'll be performing an experiment to turn one of you 300 into the single best striker in the world. But in all other aspects of the sport, we are second rate. Let me ask you this. What is soccer? Think for your teammates. That kind of thinking is why this country's game has remained weak. Soccer is about one thing. Scoring more goals than your opponent does. Whoever scores the most is the best. End of story. If you think Japan's team isn't weak. Do you mean the same losers who have never claimed a single World Cup? You're either the best there is or you're trash. Got it?
Ego thinks Japan's team sucks. If you take the greatest striker in the world and put them on Team Japan, they're not beating a team made of 11 elite players. The sport is not that simple. Soccer is not just about scoring more goals than the opponent. Both defense and offense matter. The sport is not that simple. Whoever scores the most is the winner, but that is not synonymous with being the best. There's overlap, but they aren't the same. A bad team can beat a good team, and a good team can win with just 1-0. The sport is not that simple. Just because a team didn't win in a World Cup doesn't mean they're trash.
Instead of assisting my teammates to win 1-0, it feels better to pull off a hat trick and lose 3-4. Here's one from Eric Cantona. I don't care about my team, I just want to stand out. And from Pele, the world's best forward, midfielder, defender, and goalkeeper. Whichever you ask about, the answer is still me.
This is toxic. Sacrificing your team's success for your own success is degenerate behavior. And now we have a paradox. Is winning more important or scoring goals for yourself? Because it sounds like Ego doesn't know what he wants. He calls Japan losers for not winning the World Cup, but he also praises Noah's philosophy of losing while scoring a hat trick. So shouldn't Noel be a loser because he'd rather lose? Ego is promoting two conflicting values, and then the quotes he uses are cherry-picked to fit his message. I can find quotes from Messi and Ronaldo, the two actual best forwards in the world, prioritizing teamwork over solo glory. Messi said, "I prefer to win titles with a team ahead of individual awards or scoring more goals than anyone else." Ronaldo said, "I don't consider myself as the best player in the world. I'm not obsessed with individual titles. I'm much more interested in being part of a team which wins trophies." Messi and Ronaldo are the two best strikers in the world, and they aren't egoists. So the evidence to back up his premise is horrendous. If you wanted, you could watch videos breaking down the tactics of soccer matches to see how important teamwork is. But you don't really need to, since Ego doesn't even bring solid evidence to stand on.
The field. The score is 0-0 in the second half of extra time. 6 meters to the right is your teammate. If you pass, your team's guaranteed to score a goal. Only an insane egoist could take that shot without a second's hesitation. I am a striker!
The story implies that Isagi, and any good striker, should have taken the shot. The sport is not that simple. If your teammate is competent, then passing would be the better choice because they had a better angle. If you believe your teammate doesn't have the ability to make the shot, then you probably should take it yourself. Ultimately, there is no perfect right answer for every situation. That's how sports are, so pretending that the striker should always be selfish in that situation is tunnel vision.
Additionally, anyone who loses while here at Blue Lock will forfeit the right to ever represent Japan. For 136 seconds, whoever's struck by the ball is it. Whoever's it the moment time runs out will be locked off.
This one is more of an insult to my intelligence. If someone loses in a game of tag, they lose the right to ever represent Japan? So Ego is potentially throwing away some of the country's greatest players on a chance? That's ridiculous. And it actually happens. The white-haired guy was a better player than Isagi, yet he's kicked out because he lost in tag by chance. Playing tag to decide anything of magnitude is absurd.
Yeah! Hey, stay away from me! Real sorry, Isagi! Damn it! Punk! Let go! Damn it! You little shit! Come on, get your chance! Let go of me! Don't just stand there, shoot! I told you to play fair before! I was serious!
The game of tag is stupid. It isn't even a real soccer exercise. Kicking a ball into someone to tag them? It's so stupid. It would have made more sense to play keep away, rondo, monkey in the middle, or whatever you call it. It's similar, but it actually trains skills that you'd use in a match. Passing a ball and avoiding the defenders. Kicking the ball into someone is not a skill that is ever used in soccer. And then Bachira kicks a dude in the face and is completely okay, despite the fact that it would have been a foul in a real game. The baldy grabbing Isagi would be a foul too. Why are these legal in a soccer exercise? All this fighting nonsense is an attempt to appeal to casuals who aren't into soccer and is corny.
If you're the one who's running away, you need a keen sense of interpersonal space, tactics, and positioning. And if you're the one doing the chasing, your dribbling and aim must be precise, and the quality of your kicks must be high, making it an excellent soccer training trail, you pimp.
The explanation for this drill in episode 2 is bollocks.
Congratulations! Those who survive have passed the Blue Lock entrance exams. Yeah, right. Sometimes you'll work as a team, and other times you'll be rivals, out to wreck each other's dreams. Your Blue Lock, Team C.
Ego's plan is to create an elite Blue Lock team, but it has people playing in every position, and he only has strikers to work with. Why would he create a team of all strikers and force them to play other positions? Why wouldn't he just get the best player from each position?
The 11 of us here in Group C will be playing together as a proper team, but everyone here is a forward.
Why don't you a team made up of 11 forwards? How's that gonna work? Don't you?
Isagi even questions this, and the story provides no answer.
No, soccer was originally all about scoring. Over the years, you've been imprinted with stupid notions regarding positioning and tactics on the field, but all the different roles evolved gradually. So play the game as it was intended. Dig deep down inside and create soccer from zero. Abandon what you once thought was common sense. Instead, shove new concepts into those small brains of yours.
I don't know what Ego's sources are for soccer starting with all strikers, but I can counter the premise. If soccer evolved from being only forwards to having multiple complex positions and tactics, how is starting from zero going to benefit these players? You're wasting their time. Reinvent the wheel is a phrase that means waste a great deal of time or effort in creating something that already exists. That's exactly what Ego is doing.
Right now, what we need in order for Japan to become the best in the world isn't 11 players working as a team. What we need is a solitary hero. Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar. Soccer's evolution is limitless because of stars like these. To stop the
Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar aren't solitary heroes. They always played alongside legends. When Messi won his first treble, he played alongside Puyol, Xavi, Iniesta, Eto'o, Thierry, and Busquets, to name a few. When Ronaldo played for Man U, he played with Rooney. When he played for Madrid, he had Bale and Benzema, making BBC. Messi's second treble had Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta again, but it also had Suarez and Neymar, making MSN.
in the world, new defensive systems must be created, and through the birth of these new tactics, a better player will be forged. One person's actions can change a team, a country, even the whole world. That's the power of this sport.
Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar are definitely some of the best forwards in our generation, but notice how he didn't quote them on teamwork and ego. It's because it would shatter his argument. That's why the story had to make up a guy who was better than Messi and Ronaldo to support Ego's stupid philosophy.
The attack. Huh? Hey, what are you doing, Yoichi? Rules are language, punk. If that's how things work here. What are you doing? Get on it! Guys, we're defense! Get out of my way! Out of mine! Damn it! You know.
Not as lucky as he thought, loser.
They're fighting each other too.
In episode 3, we get a perfect display of what pure selfishness and ego looks like. Everyone fighting for the ball, even against their own teammates.
I got the left.
I got the right way.
I'll leave defense for you.
This isn't good. They're getting their act together.
Gee, they think throwing those lousy players at me is a good idea. Wide open space. Other players are totally open. Save any of it!
When Team X starts working as a team, they start winning. Meanwhile, Team Z collapses due to their selfishness. The story is disproving its own point.
You in?
I'm in. Got it. Let's go.
I'm gonna make this one. Isagi,
Heads up.
light the way and lead the rest of the team.
Bullseye.
Yes, nice pass, Bachira.
Team Z starts making progress when Isagi and Bachira do what? That's right, work together. Their first goal is scored by what? Isagi passing to an open forward. Didn't the story imply that Isagi shouldn't pass in the box in episode 1?
thing that broke through that zero was Barou's first goal. It acted as a catalyst, creating a clear path for future goals, which led them to play as a team. Use that one. Only talent and an unbreakable will can make it possible. A striker as a whole, especially a team, is created around one cutting-edge striker. That's what he meant. That's Ego's message.
After the loss, the story tries to justify this contradiction by arguing that only a talented striker can unite a team full of clashing egos. The way this story reaches is almost laughable. Instead of acknowledging that the desire to win can unite a team, or acknowledging that teamwork is more important than scoring the most goals, the writer bends over backwards to try and argue that a lone striker is all that matters.
Can't we come up with a strategy? One where we all get a chance to shine. Ultra-offensive system that makes the best use of all of our strengths, but if each of us uses our weapon without a strategy in place, we'll crumble on the field. Which means we'll divide up the clock and take turns as the team's frontman.
In episode 4, Team Z starts working together, but not because of a lone striker. They work together because they need to win. Even Team Y uses teamwork. In episode 5, the team does begin to revolve around Isagi, but it didn't when they started working together before, so Eagle's point doesn't stand.
As far as mottos go, mine would be sexy soccer. My weapon's my superb shooting technique.
Mine's getting behind the enemy.
Mine would be my body control. I'm pretty much an all-arounder.
None!
Bachira's weapon is his dribbling, which allows him to get upfield as far as he wants. Kunigami's weapon is his mid-range shot. He'll run straight toward the front line, lingering just outside the crowded penalty area.
Like we practice.
Weapons are first brought up in episode 3. Weapons are a signature move that Ego says is necessary, but there are tons of elite strikers that don't have signature moves. But that's not cool enough. That won't attract the casuals. You gotta focus on the super duper moves of soccer to make it more appealing to the casuals. The sport is not that simple. This constant dumbing down of soccer is what infuriates me. It is a way of appealing to casuals, but also a way for the writer to hide their lack of knowledge of the sport. This writer is a fraud. He doesn't actually know soccer and is compensating with all this simplification. Look at Haikyuu, Slam Dunk, and Catenaccio. Manga characters don't need unique special moves in soccer to be cool.
I've got it! That jolt I felt earlier came from the true heart of Team Y. That's right, Nico, I see you!
You and I have the same kind of eyes, but it won't save you in the end. I'm the one calling the shots, not you.
Wait. Here, you and I know this spot, right? Because it's where we belong. The place where you can smell a goal.
Cut the shit the fuck off!
Isagi smelling a goal, and Isagi and Nico having the same Keke Genkai is so annoying. Stop adding all this superpowered nonsense. Why couldn't Isagi just have a high game IQ? Why does it have to be this mystical power that awakens in certain situations? One that he has to control and master like a shonen battle protagonist.
Taking the shot yourself, you passed to Ogawa to finish us off. That's why you lost, Nico. At the last moment, you chose to give up the ball, which means you're no striker at all! Nice pass, Steve. Damn it! It's up to you!
I read you loud and clear.
I'm out! That's low, but okay.
And number 11, Isagi.
I am a striker!
Then, Isagi criticizes Nico for passing in the box instead of shooting. Not only did Isagi do that last match, but right after saying that, he passes the ball, and the team passes it around to score team goal. So does that mean Bachira isn't fit to be a striker because he passed it to Isagi for the final goal? In episode 7, Isagi passes to Chigiri for the final goal. Is he now not fit to be a striker, or is it only if you pass in the box?
The world-famous Argentinian striker, Lionel Messi, for example. His uniquely quick and graceful dribbling is the first weapon he possesses. The second is how fast he kicks a left-footed shot. In those respects, he's the most prominent player on the planet.
The way they tried to simplify Messi into 2 weapons is ridiculous. He has a whole arsenal of skills. He has speed, feints, an ability to be knocked down, spatial awareness, timing, positioning, curling and dipping shots, and shot placement. But Blue Lock dumbs it down to quick dribbling and fast left-footed shot. Messi isn't great because he has a weapon. He's great because he has an arsenal.
Did he just smile? You're betraying us? Your own team.
Figured it out, might as well come clean. He told us everything. Your tactics, each player's weapons and weaknesses, all of it linked to us in advance. Turns out a certain someone sneaked out during your team meeting last night. Decided he'd rather have one with us and see if we'd agree to his plan.
I'm doing my best to survive inside Blue Lock, the same as you. After you lose, 10 of you will be going home. And me, I'll be the lone survivor. From here on out, we're playing 12 on 10. If your team doesn't make the top 2 spots, you're done. But if you're its top scorer, you get to proceed to the next selection regardless. Win the match, in exchange for scoring 3 goals. Get it yet? I'll end up the top scorer on the team in advance. Bastard!
Kuon is a great example of ego taken to the extreme, yet the story treats him like a villain. He literally scored a hat-trick and was about to let his team lose, just like Noah said, but the story paints him as the bad guy for abandoning his team. I thought only scoring goals mattered. He scored goals. What happened?
And your goals in fair play tally are the same. Then only the highest-ranked player on your roster will survive.
What? What do you know? Guess that means me.
During the first selection, scoring is the only factor taken into consideration, and what he did isn't against the rules. But let me say this, what? When it comes to strikers, you are the lowest of the lowest of the low. Frankly, all of you are nothing but crap.
And then, in episode 8, Ego's own ranking places Kuon at the top, yet Ego criticizes him. Isn't scoring all that matters?
But it was pure dumb luck. Your playing style has no value whatsoever. The world's best strikers can reproduce their goals. Well, can any of you? The question you should be asking yourselves is why you can't reproduce them. Because they were nothing but products of luck to begin with. And if you happen to rig your goals and betray your team, well, then you're trash. Then, a formula to create scoring opportunities. Analyze the how and win. The situation in which your weapon helped you score a goal. How far away was the goal? How many defenders were there? Where did you receive the pass? You must devise a formula that will make you shine the brightest. Every world-famous striker has their own equation for scoring goals.
Not until you've nailed reproducibility!
Currently, your only consistency is inconsistency. To become the world's best striker, like diamonds in the rough, you must prove your own formula again and again. Stop relying merely on luck. Win the game because you were meant to.
Man, quit fucking playing on me, bro. Hey, look.
Good strikers don't just reproduce goals. This time, he doesn't even try to provide evidence for his premise. He just says it and hopes the casuals will eat it up. You need a formula to create scoring opportunities? The sport is not that simple. I'd argue that adaptability is more important than reproducibility. You need to be able to score in different scenarios. I back that up with goal compilations of any great player. They don't just score the same goal over and over, with the same weapons in the same context. They score all kinds of goals based on their situations. But I don't need to bring up evidence because Ego didn't either. If every striker had their own equation, why didn't the author give us examples? Even if it was cherry-picked or strawmanned, like before. He gave us examples of quotes supporting egoism. He gave us an example of a striker with a weapon. How come there's no example of an equation or formula for scoring? It's probably because the author couldn't find any, because no world-class striker talks about this. It's probably because the author made up this battle manga power system. Luck is part of the game.
Still, he hasn't gone past me yet. Hold on. If Barou has a formula for consistently scoring, then he's able to reproduce his goals by doing whatever's necessary to get within range. That's the trick behind his formula.
It's actually 27 meters!
I get how Barou's formula for goals works now, but as far as his weapon goes, it's not one I can copy. Sure, I've got great spatial awareness, but I'm not going to rack up points with that alone.
Episode 8 introduces the formula of weapon times context equals goal. In simple terms, if you master a signature move and you have a special context that you can activate it in, you can score a goal. In other words, the writer is trying to simplify the sport of soccer into a battle manga power system. The sport is not that simple. Barou's is his curling shot and speed times 27 meters. Isagi has the spatial awareness, but he needs to combine it with something, which is eventually a volley. How about, instead of focusing on this goofy formula, you get better at the fundamentals and then work your way up to be good at everything?
We've seen Team V's footage and studied their offensive patterns. The one that initiates all their attacks is this guy. Run free midfield. Bachira and I will march him. Good. If he can't pass it forward, then this guy shows up to take it instead. The lefty speed demon. Meaning, he'll pass to him instead. Right! We can cut it like we talked about. That's it. We'll commit only a few to the attack without disturbing our defensive setup. Strong defense? No. But a diving header ought to do the trick. What? Your team's already torn our strategy to pieces.
So what? Then we go beyond the plan. Hurry up, or they'll steal it. If weapons and formulas don't work, and using them to the max doesn't cut it, then the only way we'll score against these guys is if we can surpass our own individual limits.
Whoa! Hold your fast step overs. Saintly left, but you're really going right. People must evolve! Bastard, don't screw it!
Of his. It was born out of Bachira's dribbling weapon. As for your personal limit, that refers back to your goal formula. The formulas we use going into this game aren't equaling points, so we have to make up new ones.
Here's
the shot! Outside my 28-meter range! Zeroing in on the sweet spot for a full-power technical shot! That's what a superhero would do! Left off! Punch it clear! There was no spin! Let's go!
In episode 9, they start taking the formula crap even further and saying that they need new formulas to score. Bachira levels up his dribbling and Kunigami levels up his shot and range. I'm also beginning to notice something. These matches are almost purely based on the special moves that the individuals have. Team Z's formations are based on weapons. All opposing teams base their play off of weapons. Team Z always counters by neutralizing the opponent's weapons and using their weapons better. The sport is not that simple. What happens to tactics, formations, and positioning? That's what a real match is based on. Blue Lock basically dumbs it down to a battle manga where you counter your opponent's special move to win. It's like Rurouni Kenshin or JoJo. Once again, this simplification hides the writer's ignorance regarding the sport.
Life or death, the frenzy of such extremes has an important effect upon a striker. They're forced to awaken as if from a deep slumber. Awakening is like doing a jigsaw puzzle with your accumulated thoughts and experiences. You're in an inter pieces of success begin falling into place and a new ego blossoms. In short, an awakening is the moment you open your eyes and learn who you really are.
Their defense blocked my shot. With my spatial awareness, I can position myself for a chance to score. Earlier, in that case, if a situation doesn't exist where I can use my weapon, I'll just have to create one out of thin air. It was drawn out to a range where my weapon is at its most effective. 50 meters in 5.77 seconds. Give me a long sprint where I can go my top speed.
Now then, there's 30 minutes until the end of the match. You want to know who will be the best striker in the world? Watch.
This whole awakening thing is more battle manga stuff. One Piece and Hero Academia literally have awakenings in their power system.
An awakening is something that can only occur during the most extreme of circumstances. For example, when facing an opponent much stronger than oneself, a weaker player will integrate every one of their abilities. They'll invent a new formula, allowing them to seize victory.
Did you hear what he said? That's almost exactly like One Piece and Hero. The way awakening is described is so fantastical. Players improve slowly over time. There isn't this one moment where everything just suddenly clicks and all the pieces fall into place. But it's easier to write it that way, because getting better over time is boring, right?
Keep on running!
Attaboy, Isagi. Aside to deal with Chigiri, but on the opposite when it's a surprise, a player will take a shot from anywhere. Team C's Barrel Boy, Nagamaru! You're still in control. That's the domain of Kunigami!
We'll crush all of you. Attacking in waves!
Just like I envisioned.
Yeah!
A simulation popped into my head, and I ran to the weakest part of the field. I knew if I could get there and occupy that space in my brain, I can foresee the future of the field. That's the missing piece. That's how I make my own goals. They're ready for me. Chigiri! Somehow you always end up in the red spot. Let's cut through them. You and me! I got the one too! Use me as a decoy to draw them away? Just like I imagined. This'll work. I can control the field. Yes! 2 defenders left. Against us. Kunigami and I. The far side. Left of goal. 19 meters out. That's the spot. The territory that will make a goal possible. Come on, Bachira. I know you can see it too. I'm under number 9. Do you feel me? I got you. I don't even block the shot. Trapping it like normal won't work. I have to pull off some insane. It's to win with my goal! My goal.
That's right,
Through that! I know who I am. I have no speed, no power, no special technique, but I found the thing that will let me survive at Blue Lock. With this! My direct shot!
In episode 10, Isagi's Keke Genkai gives him future vision. How do they win the game? By Isagi mixing his spatial awareness future vision eyes with his context, a volley. It's all about formulas. That's the end of the first selection arc. I'm not doing all of season 1 in one video, because there's a limit to how much of this I can take in one sitting. In conclusion, Fraud Lock is an insult to soccer in several ways. The philosophy on egoism and only strikers mattering, the neglect of teamwork, the cherry picking of evidence or lack of evidence, the constant simplification of the game down to weapons, formulas, and superpowers, the use of superpowers, the ridiculous process for creating a great team. All of that is why I can't stand this show, and I don't know how any soccer fans can. Even if you're just a fan of writing, you should be able to spot the lack of logic and consistency in the story. Kicking out one of your best players because they lost in tag is brain dead. The story preaching about selfishness, while the players constantly use teamwork, shows a lack of self-awareness. The writer is trying to promote one theme through dialogue, but is promoting another through actions. The writer is a fraud that is hiding his lack of soccer knowledge and making up for it with simplified battle manga logic that doubles as an appeal to casual fans and non-soccer fans. Fraud Lock is honestly just an insult to sports in general.